Today, I will show you three critical truths. First, how these massive AI investments are quietly rising your energy bills. Second, the behind-the-scenes story of the public resistance rising across America. And third, the most likely scenarios of what could happen in the next 5 years. Once you learn these, you will never look at the story the same way again. Welcome to Heartofeconomy. Across America, a silent yet deep crisis is growing. The lights are on, the screens are running, but the bills are burning holes in people's pockets. While AI giants are building multi-billion-dollar data centers, the massive energy and water consumption of these centers is squeezing local communities. Right now in America, a massive wave of investment called the next AI trade is underway. At the center of this wave are the world's largest technology companies, the giants known as the Mag 7, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta, Apple, Nvidia, and Tesla. These companies are building multi-billion-dollar data centers all across the country to strengthen AI infrastructure. Each one is filled with massive clusters of GPUs. These GPUs can perform trillions of operations per second, but in return, they consume incredible amounts of energy. Think about this. A single large AI model can consume hundreds of megawatt-hours of energy during its training phase. That's equivalent to the annual consumption of an average American home. Now, imagine the energy demand when dozens of data centers operate at the same time. This is why, especially in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast regions, electricity bills have literally skyrocketed. For local people, this is not just a technological development, it's a problem that directly hits their wallets. People are turning to apps like Deferred to pay their electricity bills, breaking the debt into 4 installments. This is a dangerous sign of deteriorating financial health. As an economist, I can tell you this. When energy prices put more pressure on household budgets, consumer spending contracts, and this affects spreads throughout the economy. Here is the critical point. This growth is uncontrolled. Data centers are expanding rapidly without calculating how much strain they will put on the energy infrastructure. And remember, this isn't just about electricity. It also affects water consumption, land use, and even local real estate prices. The first signs of crisis appeared in the summer of 2024 in Maryland. People living here rose up out of fear that their homes and lands would be taken away. The reason was the construction of high-voltage lines that would carry energy to new data centers. According to Baltimore Gas and Electric data, today in Maryland, 264,000 households are behind on their electricity bills. That's 1/5 of the total customer base. And these are official figures. When you talk to people on the ground, you hear that many more are struggling to pay. The energy policies of the Maryland state government play a key role here. Under the name of green energy, reliable baseload providers such as nuclear plants and some fossil fuel facilities have been taken offline. This narrowed energy supply, but during the same period, demand exploded due to electric vehicles, heat pumps, and data centers. So, while supply decreased, demand increased. In economics, this scenario always leads to one thing: rising prices. Our prediction is that this situation in Maryland will also be seen in other states within the next few years. Because as long as this data center frenzy does not stop, energy demand will keep growing, and the new infrastructure needed to meet this demand is not being built fast enough. In other words, an energy bottleneck seems inevitable. This resistance in Maryland created a domino effect. There are currently 142 different local resistance groups in 28 states. These groups have canceled a total of $18 billion in data center investments and delayed $46 billion worth of projects. This is quite a significant figure on an economic scale. This movement cannot be explained solely by environmental sensitivity. Yes, there are environmental concerns, depletion of water resources, damage to ecosystems, noise, and air pollution. But the real issue is economic security for the people, because the job opportunities these investments bring often do not meet expectations. Many data centers, instead of creating thousands of jobs, provide only around 100 permanent positions. In addition, the lack of transparency between local governments and technology companies undermines public trust. Non-disclosure agreements prevent clear disclosure of who earns how much and which resources will be used. And let's not forget, the cost of these massive investments is indirectly covered not only by companies but also by the taxes coming out of people's pockets. The city of Tuken in Arizona witnessed one of the most striking examples of this resistance. The $3.6 billion mega data center project, later revealed to belong to Amazon Web Services, was unanimously rejected by the City Council. There were several key reasons behind this decision. Water consumption: the facility would consume 2,000 acre-feet of water annually. This is more than the total water consumption of 4 golf courses. In a state like Arizona, where water is critical, this was an unacceptable risk for the public. Employment promise: 3,000 construction jobs and 180 permanent jobs were promised. But the legal requirement was only to hire 75 people, though most of the promised numbers would remain on paper. Lack of transparency: project details were protected by non-disclosure agreements. The public did not know exactly what was being built. Environmental impacts: high energy and water consumption conflicted with carbon neutral targets. This rejection made waves nationwide, because large tech companies usually get easy approval from local governments. But Tuken's no became an inspiring example for other cities. My guess is that this example will trigger similar decisions in the coming years. So how will this story continue? First scenario: companies may request broader powers from the federal government to overcome local resistance. This could seriously limit the sale of local communities. Second scenario: local governments introduce special regulations for data centers. Restrictions on water and energy use and obligations to comply with carbon neutral targets could be examples. Third scenario: massive investments in energy infrastructure are made. Nuclear, hydroelectric, and even next-generation gas plants are commissioned. But politically, this is not always easy. My own forecast is this: in the next 5 to 7 years, energy prices will become the main factor determining the growth rate of the AI sector. In other words, tech giants will not only compete in hardware and software, but also in the energy market. This could also increase strategic alliances between energy companies and tech giants. Let's not forget, history has taught us this. Major technological breakthroughs, if not supported by infrastructure, are interrupted by crisis. The same risk exists in this story. Before we close, let's hear what some of the world's leading economists say about this issue. Nouriel Roubini warns, without parallel investment in the energy grid, the AI boom could face an economic bottleneck within 5 years. Paul Krugman notes, energy scarcity in a high-tech boom can turn progress into a drag on growth by driving up costs for everyone. And Joseph Stiglitz reminds us, when the gains from technology are privatized, but the costs are socialized, public resentment is not just emotional, it's economically rational. These insights show that the future of AI will be shaped as much by economics as by technology. In conclusion, The AI revolution is reshaping the world. Just like past industrial revolutions, great opportunities and great challenges come together. What we see today is not just the growth story of tech companies. This is a chain that extends from energy prices to water resources, from employment to local economies. And the real question remains, who will pay this price? The companies, the investors, or the ordinary people looking at their bills? In the coming years, the answer to this question will determine not only the future of America, but the future of the global economy. Because if energy prices rise, the speed of AI investments will fall. And then, technology and the economy will once again be forced to cross paths. At Heartofeconomy, we will follow this story step by step. What we ask from you is to be a part of this discussion. Leave your comments, share your thoughts, subscribe. Because this is not just a technology story. This is the story of one of the biggest economic struggles of the next decade. And in this story, your voice matters too.